UFC is back. This time around, Mexico City for Moreno versus Kavanagh. And there's a couple unique and interesting things that could factor into these fights. For example, high altitude, Kavanagh coming in last minute and replacing Moreno's original opponent. Now, before we get to the main event, we're going to go over the prelims. Damian Pinas versus Wes Schultz. I'm going to call him Damian. I'm going to go with Damian in this one. I saw that they're both... a lot of Dana White Contender Series, like contestants and fighters are making their debut or even former ones. But Damian just has more explosiveness. They're both young, and Wes Schultz is a little tricky on the feet, kind of weird and funky. But in that, I think Damian is just going to probably blast him and catch him with a right straight. He does have a good chin. I think Damian could just catch him with a right straight as he's doing some funky, weird shit. So, yeah, Damian, KO, first round I'm going to go with. Erik Silva, Francis Marshall. Marshall, I actually am kind of a fan of. He's not making his debut from the Dana White Contender Series, but he is a former one, and he's had a few L's, but those being against fights in situations where he's a little young and maybe not fully prepared, and I think in the experience and also coming off a loss where I think he in my opinion, won versus Santos. I think that was still a good showing. I think he takes the win over Erik Silva, who has not been in the or has not been fighting in the UFC, I should say. He's been around for like 5 years, but fights every 2 years, and he's lost both of his fights. So they're just saving him for this one here. Venezuela, of course. But I'm sorry, he's going to lose. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with a Marshall decision win. All right, Ernesta, Karechaite, and Regina, Tarin. So this was not originally Regina, Tarin, Ernesta's original opponent. So Tarin is coming in to replace last minute. I think at this point, easiest decision, I think, here is Karechaite winning a decision. Regina is good. She's young, though. That's the thing. And from what I've seen, a little amateur on the feet. I think Ernesta's shown to like bounce back, especially since she won her last fight, and has good abilities, and she's big. She's a bigger fighter than Tarin. And so I think that with Tarin, lack of experience, Karechaite is probably going to win a decision. It could go back and forth a bit. Tarin does have good wrestling, but yeah, I'll go with Ernesta in the end. Douglas Silva, Andrade, Javier Reyes. I've always liked Andrade. I think he's gotten to the point now in his career where he is 40 years old that he has slowed down a bit. Maybe give me 3-4 years ago, I would have probably said Andrade could win this, but Javier Reyes is younger. He's like 32, making his debut from the Contender Series where he did have a good win. Kind of dominated his guy in that first round and took him out. So Reyes is likely to come in and do the same. I think Andrade's experience, though, he'll be able to survive maybe a round. I'm going to go with Reyes getting a TKO or KO in the second round. Andrade is just to that point where, yeah, he's a little bit older now. Cristian Quinonez, Kris Coutinho. All right, so these two are a couple of mid fighters, I'll be honest with you. There was a time where I thought Cristian Quinonez was probably going to be a decent fighter. Since joining the UFC, man, he doesn't seem to be in the best shape. It seems like he struggles with the weight. And, yeah, so I think that, like, I don't take him really serious. But the thing is, Moutinho is, like, he's just not good. So, like, yeah, I got to look at it as who has more of the potential of winning the fight in a finish. And that's Quinonez, even though he gets finished nowadays, like 2 submission losses in a row against opponents he probably should have won. I mean, given like what got him to the dance and where he's at now, he was decent. You know, he even okay. So this one was surprising, but he beat Vinicius Oliveira, which is not aging the greatest nowadays. But you know, that's a ranked opponent. Kris Moutinho though is ass. Quinonez should get a second round, KO, TKO. Ailin, Perez, Macy, Chiasson. All right, so Macy, you know, I mean, I've seen her for a while in the UFC, but she's just, to me, not really all that impressive. She is inconsistent. Ailin Perez is smart enough to where I think with her, like, ability to circle around the cage, she's not as she might be shorter, but I mean, she's thick. We all know that. So I think she also implements her wrestling and tires Macy out a bit. And in a 3-round fight, I'm going to take Ailin, taking it by a decision win. Ryan Gandra and Jose Daniel Medina. Okay, this one makes me laugh. Medina is getting KO'd. Although this is where the high altitude could maybe factor in. And the reason I say that is because you never know. Middleweight, Gandra's a bigger dude. He's not like super, super ripped, although he was in good shape. Because he was a Dana White Contender Series guy, right? Yeah, I think. He's 30. And he does KO people, though. And Medina, he has that chin on him. But come on, man. 3 in a row. They've only got him on this card for that reason, right? He's from Bolivia. The high altitude could be the only thing. Like, Medina might miraculously get a decision win in the end and, survives the onslaught in the first round and becomes, like, Tai Tuivasa of middleweight. But I doubt that. Gandra is getting him out of there in the round 1. So, Santiago Luna and Angel Pacheco. So, Pacheco is a Dana White Contender Series contestant that did not win his fight, but got in there because of how crazy his chin is and how he was able to bring it back to his opponent. So, not an easy opponent to get out of there. Santiago Luna, though, he is dangerous, but if you saw his last fight, he survived a moment where he was getting hurt and he even got dropped. He's young, so I don't trust him completely right now. I think Luna gets a second or third round KO on Pacheco, who gives him a decent fight up until he gets, out of there. But yeah, should be a fun one. Imanol Rodriguez and Kevin Borjas. So this is where I think another one where I'm not too sure. Rodriguez, the big question mark on him is like, is it just been the competition up until now? Because he's been getting KOs and submissions and all these different finishes, but he's also doing it against nobody. So Borjas, yes, he's losing, but he's skilled. He's got skill, right? And I think Rodriguez could get him in that first round, but I could also even see a decision. It just depends on how long Rodriguez can keep that aggression going, because he's very attack. I'm gonna go with Borjas maybe getting this. Yeah, I'm gonna actually go with Borjas as the underdog, decision win. Edgar, Chairez, Felipe, Bunes. Chairez, fun fighter. He's shown to be able to handle it on the feet, and when it gets to those tricky situations, he'll snatch up a neck and it's over. And yeah, he's got a good balance to his game, and I think Bunes, I think Chairez takes him out of there, second round submission. How he has been getting his wins recently, but I think Bunes is durable, but not enough to survive Chairez. Zellhuber versus King Green. I don't agree with the odds completely, but I do agree with the outcome. I think that there's a 60-40 chance, and I think that 60-40 means Zellhuber gets a decision win. No. What am I saying? No. Green gets the decision win, or Zellhuber gets that first round KO with his length. And we know Green has slowed down. He's not young, but he's been caught enough to where, yes, he's coming off a win, but someone that he should have won against, right? So Zellhuber has let us down a couple times, but I think with his age and experience, and it's not like he came out of those losses like a complete loser, right? Michael Johnson is a decent fighter. So I'm going to go with Zellhuber, first round KO. Marlon Vera, David Martinez. This one is just the classic Vera being too slow to get it going, and in the end, always complaining, always bitching. I can't stand him anymore, man. It's been the same story every fucking time he fights. So I'm going David Martinez, decision win. Maybe there's one moment in there where Vera lands something. Maybe a body shot. Yeah, one of those kicks that he likes to throw, which he does have great kicks. He's great. He's a good fighter when he wants to be one. And I think this is one where it's Marlon Vera, if he at one point got anything together and decided, you know what, I'm going to risk it more, you've got a granite chin. That knee that you took from O'Malley is just insane. So, like, I don't understand why you don't trust in your chin more. Maybe there's a reason for that. But, like, you could take out Martinez, like, if you really wanted to. I think you could take out almost any bantamweight if you really, like, went for it. But you don't. And Martinez being as skilled as he is, which, yeah, I kind of made it sound like he's not. No, you could take out most fighters if you fucking churned it up, I would say. David Martinez is one that's too skilled, too smart. If I remember correctly, he might be a doctor. Like, again, he's smart because he's small, but he's quick, fast, and circles around like that octagon and has good wrestling. He took out Font. Was it Font the last time he fought? Yeah. Decision win, unanimous. He's good, man. He's really good. He's really quick. So I'm going to go with the decision win for Martinez. And now Brandon Moreno, Loner Kavanagh. First thing here, I want to say Kavanagh is a badass. He's the only one that wanted to take this fight. It sounds like they offered the fight to others and no one wanted to say yes. Now, given it was like a 2 week notice replacement. But still, I mean, like, that's badass on Kavanagh's side. And of course also because, you know, who's not going to pass up on that opportunity? But think about it. He's going to have to fight in a higher altitude. So 5-round fight against Brandon Moreno, and a former champion. Yes, he's coming off a loss, but let's be real. Tyra did get him in a bad situation. But I think Moreno, you give him another 10 seconds and there's that shot that he might survive that. And up until that point, he was doing good. So I would say that wasn't the worst L for Moreno. I think that shows that he still has it. And Kavanagh, being as young as he is, coming off the L he's coming off of with Johnson KOing him, it was a pretty bad loss. I'm going to go with Moreno getting a 4th-round TKO. Kavanagh maybe just getting tired. Like, you see it all the time. They've done it before where, I don't know what, was it like Denver or something, but the altitude is, you know, it's high and the fighters just gas out and you just see it where they look like they're in great shape, but all of a sudden it just catches up to them. In a 5-round fight for Kavanagh, I could see that happening. And Moreno being used to this, 4th-round TKO, KO finish for Moreno. So that's my decisions. Those are my picks. Hopefully it's a good fight card. Peace.